Hello and welcome back to another Math with Miss V as we are tackling scale again, but we're looking at a map this time. Come on. So we are still in the same standard, solve everyday problems involving scale drawings of geometric figures, including computing actual lengths and areas from a scale drawing and reproducing a scale drawing at a different scale. So what are we focusing on today? Use scale drawings to solve real-world mathematical problems. So we're only going to do one problem because it's a bit different and it's a bit longer. I don't want this video to take you forever, but we are looking at a map. So a cyclist rides a constant speed of 15 miles per hour. At this speed, about how long will it take the cyclist to ride from Garden City to Dodge City, Kansas? And now we're given a map to show the route that this cyclist is taking, but I want you to focus in on one part right here. This is what's called a scale on a map. Every printed map will have one. It shows you how much in the picture represents real life. And we can measure this line and use the scale here to find real life. So let's dig into this and look at an example that we can actually draw on. Okay, so I've printed out this slide so that we can actually use a ruler and measure our scale and then measure our trip that our cyclist took. So the first thing we want to notice is that they represent a total of 4 miles in real life, but each of these color changing sections represents 1 mile. So we can use that to determine how far the cyclist goes. So if I take my ruler, I can measure how long this line is in printed life, not in real life. So I can see that it falls halfway between the 1 and the 2 centimeter. So this is 1.5 centimeters. So this line is 1.5 centimeters long. Now, just for fun, let's see if it gives us anything better to work with in inches. And I can see when I measure, I get roughly, that's 4, maybe 5/8 of an inch. Not really a helpful number. So let's stick with our centimeters. Now, we could measure directly from Garden City to Dodge City. I'm going to do that with a green. And say that these cities are 19 miles apart, or 19 centimeters apart. We don't know how many miles. But this won't give us an actual estimate of how many hours it takes the cyclist, because this is not the path he took. He didn't go in a straight line. So we need to measure sections and then add them all together. So this first section, I'm not going to follow this exact bend because a straight line is pretty close. This is 1 centimeter. Okay, now I'm going to follow along this part right here as best I can. Of course, the smaller the section you take, the more accurate your answer will be. I'm going to say we'll stop about right here and say that's 2.5 centimeters. Okay, the next little section right here is 1.5 centimeters. Okay, and that stopped there. Then we'll do this section right here. That's about 3 centimeters. Okay, then we have this little section right here. That's about 1 centimeter. As you can see, we're just going to keep going until we've marked off the whole map all the way to Dodge City. Thankfully, this one has given us nice segments to work with that measure to fairly friendly numbers. So that will make our work a bit easier. Another 2.5 centimeters. almost on the home stretch here. Let's see, it's 2 centimeters. And we'll do this last one in one segment. It's another 2 centimeters. So we can add all of these together and find the total trip that the cyclist took according to the map. Okay, so when we add all of these links up together, we can see that the total is 19.5 centimeters. Now we want to know how many hours he takes him to ride. So if we look back to our scale, 1.5 centimeters is the same as 4 miles. So we want to find how many miles we can take. Now, in the previous video, if you watched that, we found the relationship by multiplying. None of these are very easy proportional relationships, so I'm going to solve by isolating the x. Well, the first thing I notice is that x is in my denominator, and that makes it harder to solve. So I'm going to start by multiplying both sides times x. And this gives us x times 1.5 over 4 equals 19.5. Because x times x divided by x and times x cancels. Now I can get x by itself by undoing this multiplication with division, or I can think about it as multiplying by the reciprocal if you're good with fractions, but I'm going to show it with dividing. So we get that x equals 19.5 divided by, and then in parentheses, 1.5 divided by 4. Okay, so let's put that in the calculator. Divided by, parentheses, 1.5 divided by 4. And we get that this is 52 miles. So x equals 52 miles. So the cyclist traveled 52 miles. We want to know about how long it would take the cyclist. So we need to now change this into our miles per hour. So I'm going to switch pens just so you can know we're solving a different part. So we have 15 miles per 1 hour. We want to know how many hours it will take for us to do 52 miles. Okay, so I can turn miles into hours. This is one that is easy to find by dividing by 15. 15 divided by 15 gives me 1 hour. So I'm going to divide 52 by 15. 52 divided by 15 gives me a very fun number of 3.46 hours. So when it says about, I would say it would take him about 3.5 hours to ride from Garden City to Dodge City on his bike. Thank you for coming by this Math with Miss V video. I hope to see you in the future.